Hey, welcome to the Cultivator Podcast. I'm so excited that you guys are joining us today by watching, listening, whatever it is that you're checking out. But man, thank you guys so much. I am so excited and honored to have my friends, Kerry and Lynn Miller, here because they are some of the most amazing people that I've gotten to know, but also just the way they live their lives and how they're cultivating the kingdom in really beautiful ways. And so today they're going to be kind of sharing their story, talking about kind of what life has looked like, and then now kind of what they're up to and how they are revealing the kingdom, in their life right now. So thank y'all for being here.
Thank you for
Justin.
asking us. Yeah,
thank you
glad
for
to be
the
here.
invitation.
Yes. So I would just love, as we're jumping and diving in, I just want to hear y'all's story. Like, I mean, it could be, we can go back from I was born this day, or it can be like, whatever that is. I would just love for you guys to share your story of who you guys are.
We're the parents of Bradley Miller. He's our middle child, and he's special needs. He's 30. He just turned 35, and he still lives at home with us. And he has been a blessing in our lives. It has really changed our lives.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Bradley is incredible. I love him.
Yes.
He's a young man with the most giving heart that you'll ever meet. He loves everyone. And so, but he sort of changed the direction of our lives. We have an older child. She is a speech pathologist, and married with 2 children. And our youngest son is in the field of computer programming, and he's now engaged, living in Virginia.
Okay.
And so we have a great family, but Bradley made it special.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So
We were talking about before we came here, we were having some breakfast, and we were saying, when you get married and you start dreaming about how life is going to be and having children and everything, you just have this picture of what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
And then when you have one born, and some people know right when they're born that there's going to be some special needs and that they're going to be making adjustments throughout probably their entire life. Mm-hmm. And others, may not have that figured out immediately, but figure it out quickly. And that was us. Yeah. We didn't know when he was born that anything was going to be different about him. Mm-hmm. But as he aged and we started figuring out very quickly that, having Haley first and knowing developmentally where he should be and where he wasn't, we started asking, okay, what's going on? Why? Mm-hmm. And we started figuring out quickly that life was going to look differently for us and be different. And we didn't know at that time how differently it was going to be. And
So with that, Bradley's 35, right? He's 35. And so how long have you guys been married?
41 years.
41 years. So
in a few weeks.
Amazing.
Yes.
So out of all that, so with Bradley and just being younger, so you guys are now kind of retired in a different stage of life. So with Bradley growing up and older and other kids, what was y'all's life like? What did y'all do? Like professional, all those things.
Well, I was teaching school at the time, teaching third graders.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I was a civil engineer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And
Bradley being our second child. So when he was born, just immediately, like I said, the developmental progress was just slow as compared to what we knew based on our first child and what I knew being in early childhood education.
Yeah.
So we started, taking him to doctors and stuff. And to begin with, we were hearing, okay, he's your second child. You're probably doing a lot of speaking for him. You're doing a lot of things for him. He's a boy, and some boys develop, a lot, oftentimes more slowly than girls, and, and language and all that. And so, they just kept saying, give him time, which we were. But as we kept giving him time, we kept even the developmental milestones weren't happening, and the gap was broadening, and we were going, something's not right. So we started taking him all over the place, trying to figure out what was going on, why, he wasn't making these developmental, he wasn't meeting these milestones at the time everybody else was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so we were very fortunate that we were able to have him tested when he was 3 at Collier Center for Communication Disorder at UT Dallas.
Okay.
And they put him through a battery of tests and came back and basically said, your son has intellectual disabilities. He may perform at a very high area, or he may not. You'll know as you
Nobody
as he
really
grows.
knew.
He also had developmental apraxia, which his speech is sometimes very difficult to understand.
Okay.
He has full language. He's got a good vocabulary, and but so we just started that journey. It's like, okay, here's where he is. He's also on the autistic spectrum. There are things about him that are just very autistic. We just took him along.
Right. Which 30 years ago, I mean, autism was, that word wasn't used like it is now, and it wasn't understood. And so we really were just like, okay, we kind of, at that point, I mean, for 3 years, we've been asking, why is this going on? Did we have, what happened at birth? What happened? Why? And then we just kind of just started transitioning into, this is who he is.
Yeah.
And we're having to make adjustments, and that's okay because he's our child and this is who he is. So how do we do this? How do we make his life better? How do we bring him the same joy and fulfillment, even as a little 3 or 4 year old that are at that time then 6-year-old and 2-year-old? How do we do this for him? Because he wasn't doing it on his own.
So what would that look like now, having 2 other kids, younger and older, and then you have Bradley, who is special needs and all these things? So did that affect the dynamics of the family in any way? Was it harder for the kids at certain seasons of their life whenever they have Bradley? Who, what was that like?
It did, because, I mean, we had to change many things. For one thing is we knew immediately he was going to need lots of therapy. Well, with me teaching, I had no flexibility. And somebody, Kerry was, somebody had to make money to, and so we decided to let Kerry do that. He was making more money than I was. And so we actually, we sold our house and got into a house. Downsized big time, sold our cars, did everything we could so that I could stay home.
Okay.
And I could just start taking him to therapy 3 times a week. I mean, we were going to occupational therapy in the mornings, and then speech in the afternoons, and we were just doing therapy all the time. And so Jared would struggle along with me everywhere we went. And what he remembers about that is in between therapies, we'd walk across the street and get a donut. So he thought life was good.
Yeah.
Haley at that point was already in kindergarten, so I would run her to kindergarten, go to therapy, take Jared for donuts, go pick up Bradley, go. But within all that, Bradley didn't want to be in therapy. He didn't want to... And
so he would do things to try to delay that. We were laughing. She would get him all dressed up and put him in his car seat and take him. And while there, he could get out of his car seat and he would take all of his clothes. And so she would have to redress him when she got there.
I said, dear, oh my goodness, I can still feel. Because the other thing is, we started him when he was 3 years old in a little early childhood program in the public schools that they provide, which was amazing for him. But, he was 3 years old, and it was half a day, wasn't it? But that's what he would do. It would take me about 20 minutes to get there, and on the way, by the time we got there, every single time, he would not have any clothes on. And so we tried everything we could. I mean, during the winter, we thought, okay, maybe if I don't turn on the heater and it's cold,
he'll no.
And we were all in the house freezing, and there he was back there without any clothes on. And he was
like, nope.
But then we would get there, and I'd have to get him out, and then I'd have to basically hold him down to redress him while he was fighting. And then if I didn't hang on to him, he would run. And I don't know how many times I chased him all over that. And I would finally get him in, be 20, 30 minutes late, and his teacher would be like, it's okay. So here you go. Have a good day. And then I get in the car and I cry all the way home because it was hard. Yeah. And I was just like, I can do this every day. But you do what you need to do. Yeah. And he needed to be there. Yeah. And
as far as daily life, he just went with us. We just went with it. Yeah. It was what it was, and so we just took him.
We didn't know what else to do. He just went with us, and
Haley was very good at calming him down if he got excited. Jared was great at interpreting for him. And so he would.
Yes, both just
kind of get us on the right subject to start understanding him. So.
When Jared started kindergarten, the kindergarten teacher came and said, "Hey, I think Jared has apraxia as well." And I said, "No, he just speaks Bradley." And I said, "Just tell him to speak." And he and Bradley had their own little language, because Bradley did have language. You just couldn't understand it.
But Jared could.
And Jared could, and Jared would tell us, and that was always a hard part with everybody. And he still struggles with it, but he has just learned to compensate. He uses sign language. He uses one time he was trying to tell me he wanted to go to play on the monkey bars. I couldn't figure it out. If it's not in context, it's hard to figure him out, even now.
Yeah.
And he started saying, whoop, whoop, whoop. I was like, oh, you want to go to the monkey bars? He's like, duh, Ma.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Come on.
I love it. That's incredible.
So as we came up through the school system and go through special ed, that was kind of its own little navigation thing.
Yes.
And one of the things that we've noticed throughout his entire life is that God has always placed people in our lives or in his life at just the right time.
Okay.
And one of them, we had started him in school, and we felt, what did you call it? Communication device?
Assistive communication.
Assistive communication could really help him.
Yes.
And so we started working through the school system. Well, their budgets are set and their policies, and they were just telling us we couldn't do it. And so the church we were worshiping at, we had just broken up into small groups.
Yeah.
And so Lynn just asked the small group, could y'all pray for us? And so a lot of the people we hadn't met.
So this little small group, it's kind of like our little group now. They knew us well, and so now this is just who I was at that time of life. I just never would ask for prayers or anything. I was just like, y'all know, I don't want every single time say, please pray for us and Bradley,
Yeah.
And so I never would. And this particular time we were just like, we really, really need this, and we're not able to get it, and we're just sort of feel like we're at a brick wall right now, not knowing, we're stuck. And so I did. I just said, I in my mind, as they were saying, okay, are there any prayer needs? In my mind, I was like, all right, I'm just going to ask. I'm just going to put it out there. And, all right, y'all, we need this and everything.
And so we prayed, and after it was over, this woman came over and said, I want to introduce myself. I'm Anita Neff. I work at Region 17, and she had just been promoted to sort of facilitation manager.
She was visiting our small group because it was at our home that night, in our house, and she was visiting. They had just come to this church, and they were visiting small groups, and they happened to be visiting that night at our house when I was nudged to just go ahead and ask. And she said, what do you need? She said, I was just hired to be the assistive technology director at Region 17 for all the schools.
Yeah.
And she said, what do you need?
2 weeks later, we had assistive.
And the training, because along with it, because it was a very expensive device.
Yeah.
But it could help Bradley as well as any other nonverbal students out there use this board and communicate with people.
That's incredible.
And it was very expensive at the time because they were new.
Yeah.
And then the teachers had to have the training. I mean, it was going to be a big deal to get that, and probably close to impossible.
Yeah.
But she said, what do you need? I'll get it. And I'll get them trained. And she did. And Bradley and several others out there at that school benefited. And that's when I feel like I personally started going, man, I've got some help. We've got some help here. We're not in this alone.
And that was my next question is like, well, what did the conversations with the Lord look like in the midst of all this? Like, what did your faith and kind of like trying to figure out a son with special needs and all, what did that look like just as your conversation with God and all of this?
Well, with me, I prayed a lot that God would fix him. Could God like help him improve and get knowledge and be able to function in society as a neurotypical individual at first?
Yeah.
That's where I was.
I was there with you. We were there together. Yes. Yeah. Why did this happen? And what do we do to fix him? Lord, will you please make him like everybody else?
And so, but again, I never lacked faith. It was just, I just kind of accepted it is what it is. And so we just carried on. And so all through school, again, God just placed people in his life that would like help. When he started junior high, he wanted to be in the band like his brother and sister. Yeah. And so we talked to the band director, and they said, well, we can try. And so for about half a year, they worked with him to train him on the baritone. And we've got pictures of him sitting on stage at one Christmas concert with the baritone.
So
and
proud.
he was so proud to be. He was just so. But then they came to us and they said, "We're not going to be able to make this work."
Yeah.
And so we were kind of like, "Well, what are you telling us?" And they said, "We'd like to make him the band manager."
Okay.
And so we said, "Okay." And so they said, "Bradley, do you want to be the band manager?" And he said, "What does that mean?" And so they said, well, you get a name tag, and it'll have band manager on
Which
it.
meant so much to him.
And he just absorbed that. I mean, that was his identity.
Yeah.
He wore that band manager tag 24/7. We'd go out to eat. The waitress would come up and say, may I take your order? And he'd say, I'm the band manager. Just out of the blue. And they'd look at him like, okay. But,
Just like he does now with his T-shirt that he wears.
Yes. So anyway, he did that all the way through junior high and then in high school.
So the day
and then
he
got to stay
graduated.
until 21. And in high school, they went on Friday nights and during football season. They
Yeah.
put a uniform on him and let him march with the band to the stadium.
Yeah.
And then they let him go stand on the track while the band did the national anthem and everything. And he was down there, rubbing elbows with the Tiger mascot and the cheerleaders. And then he was just, that's who he was. And so, again, we were just very blessed that people took him under their wing and helped him all through life.
We always thought he would be in the shadow of his brother and sister. His little brother's only 21 months younger.
Yeah.
And we found out just recently, Jared told us, who's now in his 30s, so, man, I was so jealous of Bradley. Jared was in Bradley's shadow because he said Bradley had all the cheerleaders around him, and just because, he had some special needs, he was. And Jared said, I was so jealous. But we started just realizing that you don't do life alone. You can't.
Yeah.
And that we are created who we are with a purpose and with a plan. And we quit trying to, I guess the word used, fix.
Yeah.
We quit trying to fix him and just say, you know what?
This is
who he is.
He's ours.
and he's a gift.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
he's
Amazing
a
gift.
gift.
Yes.
Thank you, Lord, for trusting us. And just, and not to say that it was always easy.
Yeah.
When I was chasing him around that yard without any clothes on, he's the one who didn't have any clothes on. I kept my clothes. One time, and another part to that is he kept taking off his seatbelt because he knew I would pull over to put a seatbelt back on. And one time I tried to explain, Bradley, we have to keep the seatbelt on because it is against the law. If I got pulled over, I would get in trouble by the policeman. And I was just desperate. I was telling any story I could to get it. And I hear little Jared and his little 2-year-old, I don't want my brother going to jail. You just. Poor Jared. I'm surprised he's not on the couch somewhere. But
So we caught glimmers of Bradley having purpose through the school program, but we didn't have a name for it.
Okay.
And so graduation came. And that's when she was saying earlier, when you have a child, okay, they're going to graduate and they're going to go to Harvard and they're going to be an attorney and maybe be a congressman or maybe
and have kids.
And it's going to be great. And then
it's not like
he
that.
graduates and we're like,
What now?
And so we went and found a state agency that helps find jobs for special needs adults.
Yeah.
And he got a job at Longhorn Steakhouse, and he was loving it.
He was rolling
He was
silverware.
rolling silverware for 3 hours in the morning.
He loved it.
Our issues were I had to be at work earlier than he did. She had to be at work, about the same time he did. So we had to make arrangements. We lived outside of city buses. Range. So it was very tough on us getting him to work and then getting him home from work. And then they started introducing other tasks for him. And we got the call and they said, it's just not going to work.
It's not going to work.
And so
his focus, he just couldn't tend to a task for 3 hours.
Yeah. And because of that, he never could get a driver's license. So he was 100% dependent on us.
Yeah.
And so that's when it really hit us that, life is going to throw us a curveball that we never anticipated. And that is, he's going to depend on us for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
And so
I had gone back to work, gone back to teaching I had taught about 12 years at that point. And once again, I was like, okay, he, just like the therapy back then.
So she quit and started taking him.
And just started
places.
taking him. But then when we got that call, it's like, okay, what now?
Yeah.
The traditional job that, most people can get and go and work. And we knew he was
Just
never
not
going to
gonna-
have that. He would, even if he did, he wasn't going to have a driver's license. Like, he was totally 100% dependent on us.
Yeah. And so I think this leads to this place that we always talk about, like, a lot of times in our life, where is it that God could be calling us? Where is it we talk about, like, our gifts, our passion, our story. And so this is why I feel like y'all's story is so important, because I feel like this is leading us into this place.
It is.
Yes,
it is.
Where Jesus is calling you
It is.
to cultivate the kingdom.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
And so I love this, because
so-
it's gotten to this place now, kind
Where
of like
we are now.
Yes, where we are now.
Yes.
'Cause-
But he still had to bring us through and show us different things, because he was sitting at home after he lost his job at Longhorn.
Yeah.
And he started reverting. He wouldn't come out of his room. He wouldn't talk. And he was just really regressing. And we were like, this is not good. So we started looking around to see if there were programs. And we found a really top-notch program.
Yeah.
And he started off, and it was great. He loved it for a few years. And then he stopped wanting to go. And then he started fighting us. He didn't want to go. And so as we started checking into it, we realized that program met a ton of needs.
Yeah.
For 11
It
years.
just didn't meet his needs as he got older,
As he-
and as he had more desires for things that he wanted out of life.
Yeah.
And so, we were like, what?
Yeah.
And we had the opportunity to go to a place down in Houston.
Yeah.
That is just a fantastic
Been around for
program.
45 years,
Yeah,
so
almost
they
45
have
years
figured it
now.
out. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I went in thinking that the program we were a part of was fantastic. And again, it was good. It was great. But I didn't know what I didn't know. And we went down there, and they started talking about purpose. These adults deserve to be respected and treated like adults.
Yes.
They need purpose in their lives, just like we
like
all
we
need
do.
purpose.
Yes.
And I was like, purpose? What purpose? And it
they
took
were
me a while, the
created.
connection. But what they do is they give meaningful jobs, meaningful work for their people. And like Bradley is one that can't work in a for-profit business, because the business model just will not work. Right. He has to have so much support. They can't afford to keep him there. This place developed a system and a place, a nonprofit, where they could bring people in and give them jobs that they enjoy doing and love on them and support them. And I looked around they had at that time, I think they had a little over 100 people in their workshops. Those were the happiest people I've ever seen in my life. And it was like, this is what Bradley needs.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yes.
this is what he needs.
Yes. And to back up just a little bit, exactly, yes. But through those 11 years where he started off, it met his need to begin with, because when he went out there, he was still one who would, if you ask him something and he knew that you would not be able to understand him, he might get under a table. He's a big old boy. They brought him out of that. They gave him so much self-confidence and belief in who he was. Like, developmentally, where he was, they met so many needs. But he continued to develop. Just because he was developing more slowly than your typical person, he was still growing, still developing, still learning, and still maturing and wanting more. So by the time we got to that place, he had been asking, Ma, he'd get up every morning, Ma, you get me a job, I get a job, I make my own money. He would ask that. And so
he likes making money.
He's an addicted salesperson.
He's a great salesperson.
Absolutely.
Even though if you're not being sold to,
you're being sold to.
You're being sold to.
Yes, you know personally, don't you? I'm so sorry.
I love it.
But he loves making money. He loves spending that money.
Yes, he does.
But he started wanting to, and he just started, and it was in our hearts, we're like, no, Bradley, he also started wanting a driver's license and want a car, like he just wants things, and like, okay, we've got to do something for him. He's got this enthusiasm, this passion to live.
Yeah.
And God's put it in him. He needs our help. Which, once again, brought us to where we are, because that's when we started. That's when, Kerry, you went to Brookwood first without me, and then I went.
Yes, and then you went.
Okay, because he's been 4 times.
I've been 2 more times.
Okay.
And I've been once. Cried pretty much because we came home just going, this is what West Texas needs. We came home going, this is what Bradley needs. This is what, and by then, Bradley had been out of high school for how many years? 15 or so?
Yeah.
And, Bradley had all these friends, and they were all sitting at home in their room, wasting away.
There are so many special needs adults that just sit at home.
Sitting there.
Because there are programs that are available And again, they meet some needs, but they don't meet everybody's needs. You know, a lot of the state-run day programs, they just have a big room with TVs and chairs and games, and then they're kind of on their own to figure out what to do. And so a lot of them just sleep, and they're not living life to the fullest.
Yeah. It's not
and
what
so
they
that's where
want,
I think God has a plan for giving them the life they deserve. And so that's where we started talking.
Brings us to Justin.
And we were led to you through a God thing. And I'd heard about Kingdom Co-op, didn't understand it, and actually kind of fought coming here. I'll be honest, I didn't understand it and until I walked in the doors the first Sunday, and several things hit us. And we had a good friend, David and Lori Davidson, that were saying, use Kingdom Co-op, start it up there. I bet Justin has a place for you. And I was like, I just don't know. And we walked in, and I could just, it was like God was saying, this is where you need to be.
You know, and we're so thankful for that. So what is it? So like we've talked about, so now we're at this place, and going through this all life and seeing, hey man, there's something that we want to offer Bradley and other individuals like him to give him a sense of purpose, and being obedient, I feel like, to kind of what God's been stirring and working in y'all's lives for a long time, has gotten us to this place where you guys have created
Turnrow Artisans.
Turnrow Artisans.
So it is a nonprofit, and I just want to say, Turnrow Artisans, the name came from partially your term you used when you opened this talk, cultivating. And so we want them to have an identity in something that's important, and artisans do really cool things. And so that's their title. They're artisans. But Turnrow is what we're going to cultivate a new direction in life for adults with special needs by creating purpose in their life. And so that's what we want to do.
Yes. And from the time, so when we started thinking, we thought one of the big obstacles was what we need a space.
Yes.
And a space costs money, and we need a place, you know, but when we, and I feel like the story started 4 years ago because I knew Jamie, because Jamie was my caregiver, my medical caregiver. And so and David kept saying, I want you to meet Justin, So finally we went and out, and he said, Justin Stice. And when he said Stice, I was like, does he have a wife named Jamie? Like, and I've been telling Kerry for 4 years.
And she's the way better deal out of the Stices.
Oh, you two.
Well, no.
You two together.
She's amazing.
Now I see how you're both. But anyway, you're talking about, you know, I knew she had been saying all along, you know, live, learn, work, and play. Yes, live, learn, work, and play. I've been hearing her say that. And when we came in, and I was hearing you, and for years, I mean, we've been in church since we were 3 days old. And for years, I've just wanted to know what it really means to uncover the kingdom. Like I've heard you say, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you say it's here. We just get to uncover it. We get to partner with him. And we don't have to go, you know, in my mind, I had to go save the world to make God happy. And it's like, just wherever you live, learn, work, and play, uncover the kingdom for those people. And that's pretty easy. And we started thinking, where do we live, learn, work, and play? And it's with Bradley and Bradley's adult friends. At that point, we were trying to do so many social things and anything we could to bring them together as a group, to give them laughter and joy and friendship and purpose and goodness. We're like, hey, here's an opportunity right here under this roof. And you were saying, you know, and after we talked to you, you were saying, hey, tell me what you need. I mean, you were helping us create this vision of what it means just to put it in action, just to go and start doing. You kept saying, invite people into your life and just let them experience Jesus. You know, who is Jesus? You know, he's goodness and love and peace. And, you know, let them experience this. And we thought, he's offering us a place. We already have the people. I feel like God put this in our hearts. I mean, he did from the birth of Bradley, like we started knowing at some point. And then he allowed us, I feel like, to kind of retire a little bit sooner than maybe, I mean, everything was in its place to do this, and all we had to do is just say, all right, yes, Lord. I mean, he was putting the people. You were sitting there going, what do you need? What do you need? We had never been asked that before.
And so what does that look like? So you guys started Turnrow Artisan
in
last January.
This
past January.
Yeah, this past January.
Past January. And so what's that look like?
So we've started slow. We didn't want to just jump out and try to make something that it's not, and so we put it out there to see how many people. We didn't know if anybody would come, and so we've actually capped it at 8 adults that come.
We've got 4 right now, just saying, hey.
And we've got 4 more that are trying to, please let us come. And it's not their families, it's them. They're hearing word of mouth. And so right now we're doing classes.
Yes.
1 afternoon a week for about 3 hours.
Okay.
And we have them making various products. And one of the things that we've been told is people are impressed with the professionalism with the packaging and things like that, and that's one of the things that we want to do is we want to help educate the world to know that people with special needs can do so much if set up for success.
Give them the opportunities.
And have people be impressed with what they're seeing, because what we want is them to be proud of what they're doing, and when they see it, they know it's good, and they're proud of it, and so then they're trying to get people to buy it, and then when people buy it, they say, I did that, and so we've been making some products.
Give me some examples.
We have sugar scrubs.
We have sugar scrubs.
2 different sizes of sugar scrubs.
We've got some air freshener.
2 different sizes of air fresheners.
And we've got some shower steamers.
Shower steamers, yes.
Those are the 3 right now. I mean, we have worked for the past 3 or 4 months just on those little things, and they're easy tasks, but they require perfect measuring. You can't get too much oil, or you spray it and it leaves it on your shirt, or and so we've been working with them that we're learning. When we make mistakes, we'll support out and do it again,
we're learning what they can or can't do.
Yes.
And we can't do that. We just lost a whole batch of sugar scrubs because it tastes yummy with sugar and coconut oil.
Exactly. And you get some pretzel and you start making it.
But if you eat it, we can simply do it. But it tastes good on pretzel.
But this just comes back to the support and also the respect, because they're different. Yeah. And that's why they're not working in the neurotypical world. We heard a story. This is so sad. We heard a story about a young man that had worked in a local business in Lubbock for a long time.
He's a friend of ours.
And they had been very great at supporting the special needs community. And so he had a job, was so proud of it.
For 12 years
they changed management, and they started moving staff out and moving staff in. Well, this young man, one of his jobs was to, whenever a new employee came on, was to get their phone number and put it on the spreadsheet so that everybody would have a current spreadsheet of all employees. Well, a new young lady came. She didn't understand him. He started asking for her phone number, and she filed a complaint against him, harassment complaint.
Sexual harassment.
But the new people, they didn't know enough to ask the questions, and he got fired. And so
broke his heart.
It broke his heart. Yeah, just broke his heart. So again, this place is for them. Yeah. And so we don't want to punish them. We don't want to, we just want to be able to respect them and create a place. And one of the things at Brookwood that just really impressed me is they said that they don't have any behavior problems. They have only unmet needs. Okay. And so things that, are viewed by everybody as that's a behavior problem. It's they have an unmet need that they don't have the verbal skills to communicate to you. So they're communicating in a different way. Okay. And that's not behavior, that's communication. And they told a story about this young man that had just been perfect working in the plaster casting lab, just perfect. He loved it. And one day, and he was highly autistic, one day he just swiped everything, broke everything that everybody was working on, and just shattered everywhere. And they said that night he was supposed to go to a Houston Astros game. And so, some of the people were like, well, we don't need to let him go to that game because he just acted up. Yeah. And it's like, no, that's not a natural consequence. The natural consequence was the next morning he had to get his own breakfast and come in early and clean up everything that was broken. But their view on that was that he's not acting bad. What is he telling us? So they started watching and looking and asking questions, and he did it a couple more times. Yeah. And finally, they said she was she understood better than anybody. She came in, she was looking around the room, and she asked the coach in the lab, she said, that radio, has that always been over there on that file cabinet? He said, yeah. He said, well, we used to keep it over on this wood desk. Somebody had moved it to a metal file cabinet, and there was some frequency or vibration that he couldn't tolerate.
Wasn't he nonverbal?
They moved it. He was nonverbal. They moved it back,
and
done. And so that's, again, we want to create a place that they can function in and be themselves and be successful
for who they are
and love. Yeah.
So back to what we're doing, yes, we started thinking, and every one of them there want a job.
Yeah.
And so we started thinking, they are making these little products, and they're pretty good at it. They've gotten to where they knew who knew how to measure, who knew how to pour it in the jar, who knew how to take the stick and punch it down and stir it. Like they started organically figuring out their own strengths and how to work together. And they were doing really well. So we started talking, thinking, I wonder if they could sell some of these at the farmer's market because it would get them out in the public with other people. We can work while we're here. Part of this training is working on their social skills, working on their people skills. We can talk about, we can talk about, how do you handle people when they come by and they ask you these questions? Do you stare at the ground or do you look at them and smile, say, thank you for coming? And, there's just so much. And could we do this? Well, we proposed it to them and they were just like, sure. And anyway, so we did. So that's kind of what we're doing right now is we're just kind of living day by day, really right now, just seeing, waiting for God to continue to open doors and everything. But right now what we're doing is we're making these products and we just went to our first farmer's market. Yes. And it was so
It was fantastic. It was fantastic.
And it was so funny because we set up, and we've been practicing before we went. We role played a lot. Yeah. As if we were at a farmer's market and and organically it just worked out because one of them, like our Bradley, like we've talked about, he loves money and he understands that it helps you buy stuff and everything, but he has no understanding of the value. 10 $1 bills are way more important to him than a $100 bill. Yeah. And so he likes to take so anyway, they started, so two of them immediately got behind the table where they knew they were going to be talking to people. Yep. And then Bradley sat himself right beside, because he knew when they started talking to people, if they bought something, they were going to give money. Yes. And he had a little black box, and he was going to take that, and he was going to organize the fives and and then this one right here, she knew how to do the calculator really well, so she was going to tell Bradley how much to give him, give him 15. Bradley say, how much 15? She'd say, give him a 10 and a 5. So he'd, he knows the numbers. And then this one right here, they just started figuring it out.
Collaborating.
That's amazing.
It was beautiful. And the people who were coming by, you could see them, because immediately who you're talking to and who you're working with. And people were just kind of going, that's really cool. Yeah. And we were kind of slowly but surely back to that book, and we're changing the way society sees people because they're just people, and they've got their strengths and they've got their skills and they've got, but you just kind of have to do it a different way, but that's okay.
So I'm sitting here I'm crying and everything else because this right here is something I feel like is the most kingdom thing, that you have people that the world may view, they have no value, they have no purpose, they have no whatever, but then when God steps in, right, and you realize, no, we can actually cultivate, we can reveal the kingdom right here, that there's so much purpose and so much value, something that the world would just totally dismiss or not see or even think could possible. That the kingdom is and has breaking through. Yes. And we have 8 adults that are getting to experience a sense of purpose, a sense of collaboration, a sense of community, a sense of all these things, and like those to me are just very highly kingdom of God things.
Yes. And the proof that we're getting is Bradley, first of all.
Yes.
when he's with either one of us, if he sees a for lease sign in a business, he's like, "Hey, Dad, we put a store there." We call him. We put a store. He's already looking for a storefront.
Yeah.
He can't wait to get back to the next farmer's market. He just can't wait.
Oh, they're all.
But there was a young lady that someone here at Kingdom knew of that lived in a group home, and she said, "I bet that would help her." And so she said she's probably going to be very low. And even when they checked her in, they said very low and hard to work with, very difficult.
That's what they said.
Yeah. She came in and she was so easy to work with. And we started realizing she has like culinary skills. She's got some very good culinary. We did some practice on some things, but just to see what they could do. And she's just doing really well. And she takes her time and she's very careful to make sure it's done right. And after the market, the manager of her group home called in and she said, "It's just amazing." She said, "We've tried her in every program and she doesn't like them." She said she can't wait to get back up there. And so again, we feel like it's that purpose part.
Yeah.
It's giving them purpose.
Bradley, you know how much he loves his guinea pigs.
Yes.
Everybody who knows Bradley knows. And we were talking this morning at breakfast. We said, back up a year when he got those. I mean, I think one reason why he loves those guinea pigs is that gives him purpose. It's his job to take care of those guinea pigs. Yeah. And so he also has a Barney that's been a part of our lives since he was 2.
32 years?
Yeah.
33, yeah.
And he talks to Barney a lot.
Yeah.
And that's how we know what he's thinking. One of our counselors told us, not too long ago, we said, "All right, we need to kind of get rid of Barney." And they said, "Well, if you want to know what he's thinking, that's how
he's able to."
That's how he's able to. So I talk to Barney every single day. I don't know what that says about me.
She's so patient.
I'm over here talking to Barney, a stuffed animal.
As if you're not Barney, think Barney.
It's the big dinosaur, the
purple dinosaur from. This is Barney.
Yes. And Barney's gotten really. He does. Sometimes he's. We have to correct him, and we have to. Barney has to do his flashcards. He goes to school. Bradley gets him dressed.
Yes.
But anyway, all that to say that Barney has started wanting a guinea pig.
Okay.
Like Bradley.
Yes.
And so this is every day. Bradley will come to me and say, "Ma, you tell Barney he can't have a guinea pig. You got to have a real job to have a guinea pig." He said, "You tell Barney I have real jobs so I can buy a guinea pig. The guinea pigs get hungry and they eat lots of hay, and hay costs money. Well, I have a real job now. I can buy them hay." And I mean, it's all
He's
about
put all that together.
Yes,
that's who he is.
Yes,
and
he's got this purpose in life, and he's got friends in life, and he's got laughter, and they,
yes,
and it's been so beautiful for us to go. So this is kingdom living.
Yes.
I mean, it's almost kind of embarrassing to say that we're in our 60s. I'll speak for myself, but I love Jesus. I love his kingdom, and I love. But it's not, this is kingdom living.
It's not this thing over here separate from our life. It's actually in the midst of...
It is our life.
It is our life.
It is our life.
Yes. And it's their life.
And it's their life.
Yes.
And it's brought such beauty into ours. I mean, we are so thankful for you, Justin. Yes, you're too humble to accept any praise here, but I'm just saying that it's been an eye-opener for us.
The space.
Well,
and the support and the encouragement.
Yes, the encouragement. Just saying, "No, you can do this," and baby steps is okay.
Yeah.
God is going to be here every single day with you, and he's going to open your doors, because that was part of it too, if you think you're going to do it by yourself, that's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And you kind of, we were like, "No, I don't know if you can do that." But when you just start going, all right, I'm just going to jump on his back. You know how you used to do when when you were little and you jumped on your daddy's back and you had the adventure of your life as he just hopped around and you hung on and you just went with him because it was going to be fun.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like that. It's like,
and I think that's so often we miss that. Just saying yes. And I always talk about, success is obedience, right? And you guys have been so, I would say, successful in this just because you're being obedient and you said yes to this thing that you don't fully understand, but and you've seen and you realize, the kingdom is going to be revealed in and through this. And you don't have all the answers, and we don't know exactly what's going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
But even in this short time, in this scope of this season, there's beautiful kingdom things that have happened.
Yes.
And that's
Yes.
worth it.
Yes.
That's worth it. And I believe it's going to continue to grow and get bigger and have a greater impact.
Yes.
But right now, just simply saying yes, you guys have stepped out. And that's what I love is just, man, you guys have just stepped out, and you guys could be retired. You guys could do something. You guys could travel.
Right.
But like, you're like, no, this is what we feel like right now in this season of life, God has invited us into.
Yes.
And so I want to say, man, that's incredible. That for you guys to step into this.
We're
and to see.
excited. We're so
We
excited.
are.
We feel so blessed. And
We are.
So
We're
with
just-
that, what are things as Turnrow Artisans? I mean, we're still, you guys are still figuring things out. If we're sitting here and people are listening to like, hey, we want to help, we want to be a part of this. What are some ways that people could jump in and help Turnrow Artisans right now?
we've been having people volunteer.
Okay.
And we in the classes.
Yep.
And loving it.
Yes,
We
they're
need critical. We have
volunteers.
to have volunteers because you need one-on-one, one-on-two per person.
Yep.
And so we've had some really good volunteers, but we are always looking for more.
Okay.
And so volunteers is big.
Okay.
And then donations, materials costs to to purchase.
So financial money donations would be
money
huge.
donations would be huge.
Okay.
But I think most importantly is just prayer that God will give us a clear path
Yes.
on what He wants this to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would love to have residential one day because we're not going to be around.
Yeah.
Bradley needs to be somewhere, and seeing what they have done at Big in Brookwood, Big's in Georgetown, they've created homes with godly people to staff those homes, and they love on them, they understand them, and they help them and support them and encourage them, and so that's what we would like to see for Bradley.
Okay.
And we would love to have it here in Lubbock on the
That's
South
right.
Plains.
Yeah.
But we're going to let God determine
Yes.
where this goes.
Is there any other plans going back to the farmers market? Do we know when that might happen?
August
today?
23rd.
August
is our
23rd.
next one.
So the Wolford Farmers Market, August 23rd.
And that's another cool story because we were told there was a waiting line a mile long and that we would never be able to be, well, no, she didn't say we would never. She just said it'll be a while. Just be patient. Okay. There were 3 people to call, so we decided to call and just say, all right, how do you do this? And the person we talked to started saying, well, what are y'all doing? Anyway, when we told her, she said, you know what? She said, I have been a foster, my husband and I have been foster parents for the past 10 years, and we specifically, our hearts are to foster those with special needs. And she's, I think that would be amazing. And she said, you know what? Y'all have got a spot anytime you want.
And they put us at a prime location where everybody comes by.
Right there. And it's right by the big place. And she said if they get too hot or they're tired, come in here and they could sit on that couch right over there. Just little things like that. The Lord's just going. But anyway, yes. August 23rd, we're going to at least do it once a month, and we're going to try to do it maybe twice a month.
Okay.
And we're going for another 6 weeks. Right now, we're just doing 6 weeks at a time. But hopefully, we hope to maybe make our classes 2 days a week next month. Anyway, just start building that. And so I don't know how long we'll do it. I don't know if we'll do it, but right now, it's just a great blessing to all of them. And so.
And one thing that you asked for needs is so we want to pay them.
Yeah.
We don't want to use their labor for we want to give them purpose, and purpose means your time and your labor is worth something. So, but we don't have a business model because that's why they're not working in the neurotypical world is because they don't fit a for-profit business model.
Yes.
And so that's another area that would help us, with donations to be able to pay them. And what we're telling them is whatever the profits that we make, we're going to take some money out for new materials, and then you get to share the rest.
Yes.
And so that's what we're doing right now. I
love it.
There's other things that, if we grow, we'll have to make sure we're under all the labor laws and everything. But that's what we're doing for now.
You can't affect their benefits. There's so much to that, but right now it's taking a little bit out of, and what's being sold at the farmer's market is considered a donation.
Yes.
So, there's just ways to do this. But right now, when they come back next Tuesday or next Thursday, they're coming back. And I told them yesterday,
we're
going to have a payday party.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
Yes.
They're going to get $30 a piece.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. They put in the work. And
we went to the bank yesterday and got, how many? $241
$241
bills. Because we're giving them $31 bills.
I love it. I love it.
But they're understanding that, yes, I mean, it's fun to have money, but this is so much more, it's a lot more than just money. But
So, all right, I could go and sit here and talk forever. This is incredible.
Yes.
No, but for me and for us in this podcast, like, man, and when I say this, I want to, like, you guys are just everyday people. I mean, you are a retired civil engineer, a retired school teacher / real estate agent, but like, and I mean, like, just normal thing.
Yeah.
But there's something the Lord stirred and placed in you guys that you said, yeah, you know what, this is something I feel like what we're supposed to contribute, and there's something how we're supposed to reveal the kingdom is through this. And that's the greater thing of like, man, I didn't go to some ministry school. You didn't go to business school. You didn't go to anything. You're just like, hey, you know what? This is something that we feel like God has kind of stirred in us, and you guys have said yes. And now you get to be on this kingdom adventure of seeing adults with special needs experience purpose, experience community, experience love. I mean, like all these
Experience life like we do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because again, through no fault of their own,
Yeah.
they did nothing
Yeah.
to get in this position. They're 100% dependent on us. The other night, Bradley came out, had just finished mowing the yard. He said, Dad, take me to Dollar General for Tide. And I said, but don't we have some of the pods? And he said, I like the powder. And I said, I'm tired, Bradley. I said, mate, let's get it tomorrow. And he looked down and he turned around and walked inside. And I thought, if I wanted Tide, I would get in the car and go get it the minute I wanted it.
Yeah.
He has to depend on me. So I sucked it up.
And
we took him to Dollar General.
And he was
he got his Tide.
He got his Tide, and he was
happy as
life
could
was
be.
good.
Yeah.
I love that.
Anyway.
So, thank you guys.
This is good.
Thank you, Justin.
So, all right, Turnrow Artisans, there's a website.
yes.
Yes.
There's a
Yes.
place you can donate there, right?
Yes.
And then you
Yes.
guys have social media. You guys have Facebook
and Instagram.
Yes.
Those are
Okay.
being set up.
Yes, we're getting it. Yes, and so make sure you follow that. August 23rd. Wolfers Farmers Market. If you're in the area, come.
Yes.
Buy some products. They're incredible.
Yes.
They're awesome.
Yes.
It's great. Last thing, for anybody that's listening that maybe has a child with special needs, and they're just trying to figure out, man, life and all the things and whatever. What would you guys say at this moment when Bradley's 35, all these things? What would you say to those parents, those families that have a child with special needs?
I would say be encouraged. Don't be discouraged. Be encouraged. I don't believe God gives people a child if they are not able to care for that child. And while it may be scary when you first learn, just know that there's going to be so many blessings. I mean, so many blessings. And to see that child grow up and help them flourish, it's wonderful. It's a gift.
Let your people be a part of your lives. I mean, your village.
Yeah.
We do not walk alone.
I love it. So you guys are some of Jamie and I's biggest heroes, and some of our favorite people, because the way that you guys love people so well, and the way that you guys, man. So just know that, like, beyond Bradley, beyond adult special needs, like the impact that you guys have had on me and my wife and my girls, man, you guys are really powerful, beautiful, incredible people, and we are so thankful for you guys.
We feel the
Thank you.
same way about your family. We love y'all. And boy, what an encouragement have you been to us.
Okay, well, I keep crying and I don't know what all the things, but hey, thank you guys so much for checking out the Cultivator Podcast, where we talk about everyday people living healthy and whole in Jesus and making a kingdom difference where we live, work, learn, and play. We hope and we pray that this is an encouragement to you. And so thank you guys for listening and checking it out.